You can collect 100 compliments in a single day. Then, one stranger mutters one offhand comment. And guess which one your brain decides to keep forever? The 99 nice things are gone by lunch. The one weird look from someone you will never meet again gets replayed at 2 in the morning for the next 10 years. Somehow, a complete stranger who knows basically nothing about you gets to overrule everything you know about yourself. You have lived inside your own head for your entire life. They looked at you for maybe 4 seconds, and yet their version of you somehow wins. So here is the genuinely strange question. Why does a stranger's opinion feel like cold hard evidence, while your own opinion of yourself feels like a hopeful little guess? To see how silly this really is, let us just run the numbers. You have thousands of hours of data on yourself. Every thought, every private moment, every time you tried hard and nobody was watching. The stranger has a glance, a vibe, the outfit you happen to wear today. That is the entire case file. And still, your brain treats their tiny sample as the truth and your giant pile of evidence as biased. It feels backwards, because it is, but there is a real reason your brain keeps doing this. Your brain did not evolve to be accurate about you. It evolved to keep you safely inside the group. Over 100 years ago, a sociologist named Charles Horton Cooley described something he called the looking glass self. His idea was simple and a little unsettling. You do not see yourself directly, you see yourself reflected in how you think other people see you. So you are not really looking at you. You are looking at a guess about a reflection inside someone else's eyes, which means every stranger is holding up a tiny mirror, and your brain trusts the mirror more than the actual face. Now here is where it gets almost funny. A psychologist named Thomas Gilovich studied something called the spotlight effect. He found that we massively overestimate how much other people notice us. We think there is a spotlight on us. There usually is not. In one study, people wore an embarrassing shirt and were sure everyone noticed. Almost nobody did. Same energy as that typo you sent in the group chat. You agonized over it for an hour. Everyone else read it, shrugged, and forgot it in 9 seconds. So you are quietly rebuilding your whole self-image around an audience that, mostly, is not even watching. But surely you think, I would never just fold to total strangers? Oh, sweet summer child. In the 1950s, the psychologist Solomon Asch sat people in a room and showed them lines of obviously different lengths. Easy task, except everyone else in the room was secretly an actor, all confidently giving the same wrong answer. A huge number of real people ignored their own eyes and agreed with the group. They literally doubted reality just to fit in. If a stranger's confidence can make you doubt the length of a line, imagine what it does to your opinion of yourself. And nobody even pressured you. The group did not threaten you or argue. Their quiet, casual confidence alone was enough to bend you. So, why is your brain wired to be this needy? Blame the little gauge in your head. A psychologist named Mark Leary suggested that self-esteem works like a meter. He called it the sociometer. It does not measure how good you are, it measures how accepted you feel, like a fuel gauge for belonging. And a stranger's reaction is a fresh reading on that gauge. So your brain leans in and listens, hard. There is one more cruel little twist baked into the wiring. Researchers like Roy Baumeister summed it up in just 4 words. Bad is stronger than good. One bad comment hits harder than 5 good ones, because your ancestors who ignored threats simply did not become your ancestors. A compliment was nice to have, a sign the group was turning on, you could get you left behind, so your brain still overweights the bad. That is why one stranger's frown can completely outshout an entire day of warmth. Picture it. A cashier gives you one flat, unreadable look while ringing you up. You will be replaying that exact look in the shower 3 days later. Meanwhile, that cashier scanned 400 people the same day and could not pick you out of a lineup if their entire tip jar depended on it. Okay, so why does the stranger specifically feel so weirdly trustworthy? Part of it is this. A stranger has no reason to be nice to you, so their opinion feels brutally honest. Your mom says you are talented and you wave it off. She has to say that. A stranger shrugs, and suddenly it is gospel. We treat indifference as objectivity. If you do not care about me, you must be telling the truth, which is a wild leap. And then your brain quietly pulls a second sneaky move. It assumes the stranger saw the real you, the you behind the curtain. The version you are secretly afraid is the true one. So, their reaction does not feel like new information. It feels like confirmation of your oldest fear. Meanwhile, Your own opinion gets the exact opposite treatment. Because you know you want to feel good about yourself, you distrust any kind thought as bias. Something nice about me? Suspicious. So, you throw out your own evidence as wishful thinking and accept a stranger's guess as a court verdict. You are basically the only witness who knows the whole story, and you keep ruling yourself inadmissible. But let us actually cross-examine this so-called trustworthy stranger. What did they really see? A single moment, out of context, on a random day, filtered through their own mood and their own bad morning. If a stranger frowns at you, it might be about you, or their back hurts, or they are hungry, or they just remembered an awful email. Remember the spotlight effect. They are the main character of their own day, not a judge assigned to rate yours. The brutal, freeing truth is that the stranger you are still thinking about forgot you before they even reached the parking lot. You handed them a starring role in your memory, a recurring villain in a story they do not even know is being filmed. And here is the twist that ties the whole thing together. You are not actually being controlled by strangers. You are being controlled by your own guess about strangers. That look you are sure was judgment? You wrote that subtitle? That tone you are sure meant disappointment? Your script? Your voice? The stranger handed you a blank page. Your anxious brain filled it in, then turned around and blamed them for what it wrote. Which means, weirdly, the call is coming from inside the house. The opinion that wrecked your week was never really theirs. It was yours, just wearing a stranger's coat. You outsourced your self-image to a person who never applied for the job and is no longer even in the building. Once you see that, you can start to quietly take the pen back. Not by pretending you do not care what anyone thinks. That is a bumper sticker, not a strategy. Your brain will not buy it. Instead, try a few small moves the next time a stranger's opinion grabs the wheel. First, name the spotlight. Remind yourself out loud if you have to that they are barely watching. The audience is mostly imaginary. Second, ask one question. Do they actually know me? If the honest answer is no, their verdict is a guess, not a grade. Third, check who actually wrote the caption. Did they say that cruel thing, or did you add it underneath their neutral face? Fourth, weigh the source. Your best friend's opinion should not lose to a random barista's eyebrow. Update the exchange rate. And then, do the thing that honestly feels almost illegal. Count your own evidence as real. The thousands of hours of you trying, caring, showing up. That is data too. The best data you have. You are not being arrogant by trusting it. You are just refusing to let a 4-second sample overrule an entire lifetime. Think of it like a review score. 1,000 honest ratings from people who actually use the product versus one drive-by star from someone who only saw the box. Because think about what the alternative actually is. You let a rotating cast of strangers, each one half paying attention, vote on who you are. That is a terrible way to run a self. Their opinions are not more real than yours. They just arrive louder, and your negativity bias cranks up the volume. So here is the one reframe to actually keep. A stranger's opinion is a single pixel. Your own lived experience is the whole picture. Do not let one pixel repaint the entire wall. You can listen to feedback without handing over the deed to your self-worth. Borrow the useful part. Keep the ownership. Because the stranger you are still replaying tonight is not thinking about you at all. They are at home, replaying their own stranger, completely convinced that person saw the real them. It is mirrors pointed at mirrors all the way down, and you are allowed to step out of the hallway whenever you want. So, tell me down in the comments, whose offhand comment lived in your head way too long? The confession booth is open. And if your own brain quietly working against you is this fascinating, you already know exactly where you are. Stick around.